Hello everyone, this is Vidya from VJ's Learner's Desk. Happy to see you all and hope you all are at home safely. Let's go to the lesson. In this video, we are going to see Class 10 Geography Chapter 1 Resources and Development. In this lesson, we are going to concentrate on what is a resource and what are its types and where can we extract all these resources, and then how these resources are developed and what are all the reasons for the depletion of resources. After that, we are going to have two resources in our book. One is land resource, another one is soil resources. So these are the things we are going to cover in this chapter. Let us go to the lesson. First of all, let us see what is a resource. Resource is nothing but it can be a thing or it can be a service which can be utilized by the human environment. So whatever we are using for satisfying our need is a resource. Take a pen. This pen is used for writing. So this is also a resource. Take a board. This board is used for writing. This can be a resource. And you can take anything that can be used by the human environment is called as resource. So in this lesson, we have seen what is resource. And resources are classified into many types based on many features. Let us see one by one in this video. And for your information, I have splitted this lesson into two parts. That is, what is a resource and what are its types, reasons for the depletion of resources, then finally development planning in India. In the next part, I'm going to cover the important resources, land resources and soil resources. So let us go to the lesson. Resources. Here is the definition for resources. You can go through it. Everything in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs. That is what I told you already. It can be a service, it can be a thing, it can be anything which is facilitating humans' needs. So, resources are classified into different ways. Why it has been classified? Because resources we are getting in different forms. Based on their availability and occurrences, we are classifying the resources into four major groups. One is on the basis of origin, second one exhaustibility, third one ownership, fourth one status of development. See, this is the flow chart which is given in your book also, types of resources. First, it is classified into natural and human resources. Under natural, it is renewable and non-renewable. Then, in renewable, it can be a continuous one or biological factors. In biological factors, we are having natural vegetation and wildlife. In non-renewable resources, we are having two types, recyclable and non-recyclable. In human resource, we are having structure and institution, quality and quantity. And this is the first category that is based on the origin or source. Here it is two types, biotic resource, abiotic resource. Biotic means living beings, abiotic means non-living things. So minerals and power resources are also coming under abiotic resources. Next we are seeing resources which are on exhaustibility. Exhaustible means we are going to use and complete it. So based on that, resources are classified into two types, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources means we can renew it at any time. Non-renewable means it is not like that. Next we are coming for the third category on the basis of ownership. Individual resources, community owned resources, national resources and international resources. So let us see one by one. Individual resources means these are the resources which are owned by a private individual. Like in village side, we can say the landowners like farmers, and when it comes to city side, we can say the people who are having properties, houses, plots, and even ponds, water in the wells are some of the example of individual resources. Next comes community owned resources. These are the resources which can be used by a group of people, which is nothing but a community. So here we can mention some examples like park, picnic spots and playground in the urban areas are some examples for community owned resources. Next we are going to see national resources. National resources are nothing but these are the resources which are belongs to the nation. So the country has some legal powers to acquire even private property for public good. To say simply, you can see some roads, canals, railways are being constructed in the individuals' land areas. Here, the government is having authority to acquire all these lands. All the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries of a nation and even in the ocean also 12 nautical miles, that means 22.2 kilometer area, they are belongs to a particular nation. So this is called as national resources. Next we are going to see the international resource where the oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles, which is known as exclusive economic zone. This is called as international resource. So beyond 200 nautical miles of any country, that area or ocean belongs to the international resources. So these are the resources based on ownership. Next we are going to see the resources which are available on the basis of the status of development. Here comes three resources: potential resources, developed resources and stock. So let's come to the potential resources. Potential resources are the resources which are found in a region but which cannot be utilized. Like in Rajasthan and Gujarat, we are having more heat because of the topographic nature. So here we can get solar energy and even wind energy also, but we are not utilizing these energy. So these are called as potential resources. So potential resources are the resources which we know that but we are not utilizing it properly. Next we are going to see the developed resources. These resources are already surveyed by the officers and we know the quality and quantity of the resources. Next we are going to see the stock resources. These are the resources that are actually having the potential to satisfy the human requirements, but we don't have any proper technology to utilize it. For example, you can see water. Water is having both important gases, hydrogen and oxygen. These two gases are the rich sources of energy, but we don't know the technology how to split these things. The next and the last one is reserve. Reserve means it is nothing but we are storing something. So reserve is the subset of stock. Here we know the technology to use these reserves, but we are not using it at present. We are keeping this for our future generation requirements. So these are the major categories or classification of resources based on several factors. Next we are going to see the reasons for the depletion of resources. Depletion of resources means we are destroying the resources in many ways. Firstly, depletion of resources are maximum by the greedy individuals. They wanted to have the resources only with them. The second one is accumulation of resources in a few hands. This is also like the first one. Here also, the resources are not given or shared to all the people. Here comes only the rich and poor. Thirdly, because of the resource depletion, our global ecological balance is getting disturbed so that it results in global warming and ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. So, to avoid the resource depletion, we need sustainable development. Sustainable development means it is nothing but development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not compromise the needs of the future generation. So, to attain sustainable development, an Earth Summit was conducted at Rio de Janeiro at Brazil in 1992. More than 100 heads of the states met at Brazil for the first international summit. So, in this summit, Agenda 21 was adopted for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. What is Agenda 21? It is nothing but it is declared in 1992 Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit. It means the major objective of Agenda 21 is to overcome environmental damage, poverty, and disease through global cooperation on common interest. So, one major objective of Agenda 21 is that every local government also should draw its own local Agenda 21. That is what you are seeing here. Resource planning is very much important for every country. It is important for a country like India, which is having enormous diversity in the availability of resources. There are regions where we can have rich resources, but in the same region, some resources will not be available. So, we need to plan in such a way that where can extract certain types of resources. This is known as resource planning. Now we are coming to the resource planning in India. We are going to see how the resources are planned to extract in Indian country. It is having three processes which are very complex. First process is we need to identify the resources using many methods like surveying, mapping, qualitative and quantitative estimation, and measurement of the resources. After doing the first step, the second step is to structure has to be planned with appropriate technology, labors, and institutional setup. That means where to find out these resources. After doing all these things, we need to implement the resource development plan. This is the second step. The third step is matching the resource development plan with the national development plans. So these are the steps for resource planning in India. India has made concerned effort for achieving the goals right from the first 5-year plan after independence. So the availability of resources of any region will be the development for that particular region or country, and we need to go with the changing technologies too. Here comes the end of this session, Resources and Development Part 1. In Part 2, we are going to see the major resources, land and soil resources. If you like this video, kindly like, share and subscribe my channel VJ Learners Desk. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.